So I just picked up this snowmobile. I wanted it because it's a nice little one. I just paid $200 for this thing. It's in pretty rough shape, but the guy said it was running last year until the track completely broke to the point where it was not rideable. And it definitely needs some other work, but I'm going to try to fix it all up. This thing does not pull easy. Alright, I just sprayed some starter fluid down the spark plug hole. Let's see if it fires. Yeah. Alright, it's not getting fuel. I think I got fuel up to the carburetor now. Wonder why it wouldn't run. Look at that. Nice. Alright, I think I just got everything out of there. So That's ready to go back on the snowmobile. And the air box is cleaned out now too. Alright, so I just finished cleaning the carburetor and cleaning that air filter, but that is not fixed because that will certainly happen again. That's actually a very common problem for mice to get in air boxes. So usually what I do is I'll take some of this wire mesh. These holes are small enough that a mouse can't get through it, and I just put that over the intake screen somehow, and that usually takes care of it. Alright, mice shouldn't be able to get through that. Smoky. Alright, well, it seems like it runs. Probably good enough to ride. I mean, I didn't warm it up, but... Alright, now I gotta fix the track. Alright, so the main reason I got this so cheap was because it needs a track, and it has a weird sized track that's very hard to find. So I have this snowmobile here that's just pretty much parts now, and I'm going to try to take the track and the whole track frame out of this one, because this one uses a track that's very easy to get. It's a common size. That sucks, that bolt broke. All right, to free this track out of here, I gotta get this thing off somehow. So that looks like that more or less happens under the hood. All right, I guess I'm gonna try to take this, I guess that's probably a chain in there, take this chain case off. All right, before I go any further on this track frame, I had this one bolt break off when I was taking it out. And as you can see, it's in there pretty far. So usually the best way to get these out is you take a nut and weld it, put it right over it, and weld it in the center. And then the heat from welding it helps loosen it, and then you have something to bite onto. So I know a lot of people are probably going to suggest like easy outs and stuff. I don't think you'd get that with an easy out. That's turning. That's good. Not turning easy though. All right, that works pretty well. You know, snowmobile tracks would be a lot easier to install if you could separate them. All right, I figured it out. This shaft isn't supposed to go that way. It's supposed to go this way. So this bearing here, once that's unbolted, this whole thing will drop down into there all the way to that spot there. So that'd be enough to get the track in there. There, now I can get that track in there. Now the parts that I'm taking from that other snowmobile, that's a different snowmobile than this one, and that track and everything is different. So to make sure it's going to work, I need to make sure this measurement is the same. So from the center of that hole, it looks like it's 7 inches. Well, let's measure the other one. So we may have to drill this mounting hole in a different spot. And this is the parts snowmobile. So to make sure that this track and everything is gonna fit. I move that. So this measurement here needs to be the same. So from the center of the hole, it's 9 inches. All right, so the other snowmobile was 7 inches. So that means I gotta drill a new set of holes on the other snowmobile. All right, here's the issues I'm realizing I have here with using the track off the 540 on this 250. So this is the drive off the 250. This is the drive off the 540. It's a little bit bigger. Every part of it is a little bit bigger. So the main part, the first problem, this is the drive I was going to use. These wheels will not sync up with the track from the 540. It's just smaller. So, but this can't go in this snowmobile because It's actually close, so I think what I'm going to do, this side, even though this is bigger, it's the outer size of the bearing. It seems like it's the same. So here's there's the holder from, so that looks like, this side looks okay, even though it's different. The problem is this side. This is definitely smaller. So I guess what I got to do, which I'm not thrilled about because it's pretty hard working with stuff that spins, but to cut both of these off and swap them, because I can't swap just the wheels, because this is like a hexagon or whatever, and this has got 4 sides. I guess, but I think that's doable, even though I don't like it, because it's got to be perfectly true when you weld this. And obviously you don't want it to break, because if it breaks, this is a pretty annoying repair. All right, I guess I'm going to try this. So these luckily these are the same length. So I need to cut them in the same spots though. I guess I'm going to cut right, so 2 1/4. 2 1/4. I guess I got to cut right there, but that is super important that I cut this square. All right. Is this hollow or solid? All right, so this one's got to go on there. Ground this down to pretty much a point, but I left a little bit of a flat top on there. So setting it right like that should give me the right length. And I just got to get it perfectly straight. All right, so in an attempt to get this lined up perfect, I slip this in that pipe and drop it down. All right, so I use these welding rods and this piece of conduit and these clamps to hopefully get that on there perfect. And I think it worked. All right, let me really burn that in now. It's important to weld it evenly. That way your weld doesn't pull it out of, pull it crooked. All right, this is the finished product. I think that'll be all right. All right, I'm realizing these welds, I brought them up a little too far onto this shaft, and this needs to be perfect because this goes into that chain case, and there's an oil seal right there. So I got to turn that down on a lathe. How fast does this spin? I mean, we can run it slow, right?
Well, you got to run the right speed and feet.
Okay, well, I don't want to have those blow apart. I mean, if it's sitting a million miles an hour, right?
Oh, they're going to do that. Well, you wouldn't go that.
Okay,
You just don't want to go too low. Chunk, 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 chunk.
Okay.
Tighten it. Because I want to... This is tailstock. That's the headstock tailstock.
So this is a carbide tip, and then
that is carbide.
we'd put it against this, and then we'd run this way.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Hey, I think I did that pretty straight. Don't you? No?
Well, I got this one here. You put a dial indicator on.
Oh yeah.
You don't run it that fast.
Yeah.
You run it by, by hand.
Yeah.
You can see just how straight it is. That looks like it's probably... fucking thing is a bear.
I can see
So
that.
ugly
doesn't
don't count.
Yeah. No, that's good. You're back far enough. Now.
Clean that up pretty quick. So it's still like 4,000. You know,
I think the seal's right about there.
right there. Use your fingers, put pressure. What is it?
All right, so here it is finished on the lathe. It turned out pretty good. There's a couple little marks on it on this side where I ground it a little too deep, but I think it'll be fine. All right, here you can see the difference in length between the two track frames. All right, now it's time to put this back together. Now I realized a lot of these snowmobiles came as a long track and they had this sprocket on it. So this part is actually available. I just have to get it out of this snowmobile as a long track. But there was a few on eBay, but they're asking like over $200 for it. So, but this one should be fine. But just in case that ever breaks, or if you're doing this project, you don't have to make that part. It is available. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this wide spacer goes here, that narrow spacer goes there, and then both these sprockets drop on. Got the parts diagram here. Alright, so now on the bottom we got lock washer, bolt. Now I could put these chain case bolts, they didn't need to come out, so let me put them back in. Alright, I got a little bit hung up on this step. The bearing I needed to use for this shaft had a bigger outside diameter, and it didn't fit. And the shaft may have been, maybe I made it a little bit too short when I welded it together, so I had to cut the bottom of the sled open here and hammer that all together. But this should be fine. I used this plate from the other snowmobile, so that fit. Alright, it's on here. This track's a little loose. See if I can get it tighter. Alright, cool. It seems to work. Alright, so let me put the rest of it together. I gotta make this, I don't know, I guess we'll call that the tunnel or the track frame or whatever. We'll make that longer. I gotta make a seat because I don't have the right seat for it. And I got a new windshield. Back of this needs to get longer. I don't know, what do you think, a foot? What a foot. Alright, so I got an idea where I can get this piece. How about right there? All right, now I got to do something about this seat. I could use this one. I don't know what this is for, but it's a pretty close fit. But this, you know, that extra 1.5 inches just bothers me too much. I got to make this seat lower somehow. So let me take it apart and see what I can do. Alright, I'm definitely calling this project a success. This snowmobile is working pretty well now. I rode it for a couple hours today. So, here, I just picked up this other one here too. This is the same thing. And I got a really good deal on it. The guy said he had it running this year, but he thinks it lost spark or something. But, I mean, that's no big deal. I'm sure I'll get it running. But you can see the difference in length between them. See how much longer the other one is? I kind of like it with the longer track. I'm not sure what this has on it. It may be like an 80-inch track, and this one's got a 121 now. So, but there's a few more things I want to do to this one. I want to put a tail light on it. The headlight stopped working. I want to fix that. Small stuff. I'll definitely gonna get that one running because that one I ordered some parts for it. Just waiting for them. This one here, that's the one that needs the crank seals. So I still want to do that. The parts are right there. And this one here is nice. And this one here, this was running good last year, but I just ordered a windshield for it. And I should get a seat cover for this one too, but so I may do another video or a video or two fixing up, you know, the one with the crank seals and maybe this one, but that one's such a small project on this. And I may do another snowmobile video. I want to do something cool. There's a plane crash that's up in the mountain that happened a long time ago. I don't know when it happened, but it's quite a ride to get there. But I kind of want to make a video out of that, a trip out of that. So, or maybe even go camping up there or something. So, we'll see. Levi and Sadie. Come here. Come here, Levi. Levi. Hey. Hey. And this is my new temporary dog that I'm watching for a friend, but she's getting along really well with Levi. Her name is Sadie. Hey, Sadie. Hey, Sadie, come here. Come here, Sadie.